This is not a video that I had planned. It's not a video that I thought I would ever be making. But here we are, and what has happened has happened. Basically, Tamakoa Homestead has come to a grinding halt. And the reason why is because of injury. And why I want to do this video is because I think a lot of people out there need to hear this. A lot of people need to understand how fragile our bodies really are and how quickly things can stop, potentially even completely end. So I am sitting in a hospital staff room at the moment, and I have been in hospital for 11 days. So if we rewind to 12 days ago, 12 days ago, I was on our land with my little boy, planting out seeds, cover crops, and wheat, sorghum, getting some beautiful rows ready, getting our first crop ever planted out. There was so much excitement. It was such an amazing experience. But part of it was there were very big 40-kilogram bags of cow manure compost that needed to go onto the rows as part of the preparation. And I had very easily got those onto the back of the truck and thought, yeah, that's perfectly fine. Obviously got there and I parked up at the top, and it's 40 meters from the top to where the grain field is. And I started carrying this one bag and I realized, this is just too heavy. I'm gonna hurt myself. So I put the bag back on the truck, drove down over all the fynbos and parked right next to the grain field so that I can just literally offload it, take it 3 or 4 meters to where it needs to be, and then be able to put the cow manure compost onto the roads. Little did I know that it was only 5 degrees Celsius that day. It was cold, it was raining, and I had 5 bags in total, which totals 250 kilograms. Now, yes, a lot of people can pick up those weights, that's fine, but I don't go to the gym, I don't pick up heavy weights. When I do train, I use my body weight. And I was happily going about things, it was all going really well, and then my back started getting really sore. And I'm going to put it into this video so that you can see it. There was a moment when I was looking back at the previous footage when I realized that is where I stuffed up my back. I was carrying this bag in front of me, leaning completely backwards, like really, really fighting against this bag, going wide-legged over beds. It was slippery underfoot, so obviously I was like accommodating for the slipperiness. And at that point, disaster struck. The morning after, on Monday, when I tried to get out of bed, I was in so much pain and had very little function of my left leg. It was really weird. And then I went to the GP, and said, listen, I picked up some really heavy bags. I've really done some damage to my back. Where do I need to go? He said, you're too young to do any form of spinal surgery. I'm not going to refer you to a spinal surgeon. Gave me some tablets and said, well, let's treat it conservatively. To which, after a while, I was like, there is no ways I'm going to be able to survive this. If you have legitimately slipped a disc, if you have ruptured a disc, if you have done herniated a disc, if you've done any of those things, you know exactly what kind of pain I'm talking about. Except for this is that pain plus motor problems in my left leg. So I ended up going to the emergency room just because the pain was so severe, and they did some tests and basically picked up that there was like a significant neuro deficit between my left leg and right leg. Loss of sensation, loss of power, loss of lifting ability. And they're like, there's no ways this guy can go and do conservative treatment. We did a quick x-ray just to just to make sure. And on the x-ray they could see that there was spinal narrowing or disc narrowing between the vertebrae, which for them was like, let's get this guy in, we need to start treating it. Got referred to a spinal surgeon, got an MRI done, and this is the picture that you see on the screen now. You can see the discs between L3, L4 are black, they're damaged, but nothing needs to happen to them, they'll repair. Then you've got L4, L5, and you can see the bulge, and then you can see the bulge into the spinal cord. And then you can see the spinal cord actually denting in because there's like a little grey-black indentation. And then underneath that, I think it's L5 to S1, the disc is also not a happy camper. So at that point, the surgeon was like, we don't have much choice here because you have like significant neurodeficit. And at that point, if you're lying flat on your back and you lift your right leg, left leg, right leg I could lift up all the way. Left leg I couldn't get higher than 15%. Now, that is not much at all. So, and that's where we ended up having to go to theatre for spinal surgery. And how that has changed my life is I can never pick up heavy things again. 20 kilos, maybe max, but 20 kilos is still heavy. I think part of the problem is I shouldn't have been picking up 40 kilo bags on my own in the first place, dead weight. Nonetheless, lesson learned. But why I'm explaining all of this to you and why I'm doing this video is I want to bring across to you how easy it is for something to go wrong. I am very blessed in that I didn't have anything severe go wrong on the farm, on the land, where I couldn't do anything. If there was some more damage or it protruded even more, where I had even more deficit in my left leg, bigger problems. So very, very grateful that everything will be getting back to normal. The problem is, if you're like me, which I think a lot of people are, I think you're so much younger than what we really are. I am, at the time of making this video, 38, which is not a spring chicken, but also not old. I'm nearing that 40 mark. But I 100% in my mind think I'm still 18, without a doubt. Give me a challenge, I will do it. You say I can't pick something up, I'll show you I can. It's our minds that just don't play along with our bodies. And I think the older we get, the worse it gets, because our minds don't get old. And all the older family friends that I talk to, they say that it only gets worse. You're going to be 70 and think that you're 25. So that is one of the biggest lessons I've learned, and that's one of the biggest lessons I want to bring across to you is you might think that you can do everything and that you can do everything, and yes, maybe you can, but we just need to all be very aware of how hard this journey is that we're all on. If you want to farm, if you want to homestead, if you want to grow your own food, if you want to do fruit orchards, if you want to do anything that involves so much physical activity in an age which is not physical, you need to be aware of your capabilities and pushing boundaries. So 1, I am going to behave my age from now on. 2 is I am going to ask for help. I've been wanting to do as much of this as possible on my own. I want to prove a point to myself that I can do it. But what this has taught me is that getting help doesn't make the achievement any less. It doesn't make me any less of a success if I achieve what is set out to achieve. So that's the second thing that I've taken from this. The third is to rely on community. I have been absolutely blown away by community. The whole purpose of having Tamakoa Homestead and being part of a homesteading movement is community, and I have a great community, but I had not yet established my local community. There were a few people that I got to know, but I haven't really leveraged that community. And just through this experience, I had someone that I had never met show up at hospital and come and talk to me, come and pray for me, come and give me tips and tricks of the valley. And it has been phenomenal. You're talking things like how the winds work, how to talk to certain people, what you talk about, what you absolutely don't talk about. Drip lines, tractors, augers, all of these things. And that is what was such a blessing for me through this experience, because I don't know if I would have got that if I had not, been in this situation. The other is, which is, I wholeheartedly believe why I'm here, is I need to follow and listen to God's plan. Tamakoa Homestead is not a Craig journey. It is not a Jade, my wife's journey. It is not our family's journey. This is a calling that I received many years ago. It's a prophecy that I will go out and feed nations, which I know is not a physical prophecy of feeding nations, but enabling people to feed themselves through a platform like YouTube. That is a very, very powerful thing, and we have been guided every step of the way. Things fell into place where they should not, absolutely not, have fallen into place. Things also didn't fall into place when we absolutely wanted them to, when it needed to. Things didn't fall into place. When things were meant to happen, they happened. And I wholeheartedly believe that part of this is God's plan of stop, listen. This is my journey, not yours. Listening and being obedient, which is a very, very, very important part. If you are a person of faith, if you believe in God, you will know the power of listening and obeying and knowing when is the right time to do things. And when it's not the right time, things will fail, things will not work out. And if you keep pushing your agenda, it will be borderline catastrophic. And I'm very grateful for this opportunity, because I have 100% grown much closer to God. I've got to know a lot more about myself. I've got to rely on communities around me. And these are all things which I started almost brushing aside because there was so much that I had to do. We still don't have much on the homestead or the land. There is no house. We have a water tank, but there's nothing. And there's so many things that need to be done. But not everything can happen at the same time. And things need to happen in a specific order and in specific ways. So that is how I am seeing this. I'm by no means seeing this as a negative whatsoever. And I am by no means going anywhere. This is going to be a situation of Homestead on hold. I'm down and out, but I'm going to come back fighting. I'm going to come back stronger. I'm going to come back with a purpose and a clear direction of where I need to go, what we need to achieve as a family, and what we need to achieve as a community. So I want to ask you to take heart of what I've said. Be kind to your body. Be realistic. Rely on others. Ask for help. Don't find yourself in a situation where at a midlife age, you're no longer allowed to pick anything up. I'm going to have to rely on pulleys, wheelbarrows, little contraptions to lift things up, because I can never pick anything heavy up again. So I hope you got some lesson out of my pain and my struggle, but I want you to know that I'm not going anywhere. Obviously, I can't be working on the land for at least 6 weeks, but I've got some really exciting videos lined up. Things like, how did we get here? What did we have to sacrifice to get here? Are we wealthy? Do we have money? How are we financing it? Those are all the things that I want to talk to you about, because those are the things that I think are going to make homesteading and a journey like this achievable for you, because I think if you join my journey and you listen to what I'm going to share, you're going to be very surprised at how we got here and how we are going to have to figure out a way to move forward. So thanks for sticking around. If you are that way inclined, please send prayers my way, my family's way. My wife has been an absolute superstar. She's got the kids alone while I've been in hospital for 11 days. So as much as I'm going crazy in the hospital, she's had to put up with a lot at home over the last while. So please send prayers, thoughts your way. It'll be deeply, deeply appreciated. And I really, really cannot wait to bring you even more awesome content in the months and years to come. Thanks again for all your support.